Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, a jury recently ruled against the National Association of Realtors in a $1.8 billion lawsuit, and it could make home ownership even more out of reach for first time buyers. Before I dive into the details, I wanted to share with those who don't know my history. I spent about 15 years working in the real estate and mortgage industries. I worked in just about every position you can imagine. I was the co-owner of a mortgage bank for a period of time. I flipped houses with my husband for many years. I worked as a buyer's agent. I've been the listing agent on homes. I also worked with renters. So I am speaking from a place of experience when I say that this jury made a mistake. Here's the deal, and here's the framework for this lawsuit. The plaintiffs allege that the National Association of Realtors and large real estate brokerages had engaged in price fixing related to an agent's commission, or agents' commissions, I should say, in general. Now, in a typical real estate listing, the seller pays the commission of both the buyer's agent and their own listing agent. And it has traditionally been between 5 to 6% of the sales price of a home. Doesn't matter what the cost of the home is, what the sales price is, that has just been pretty standard rule of thumb. But the agent's commission is deducted from the proceeds of the sale. So at the close of escrow, both the buyer's agent, the seller's agent get paid. And in order for a home to be listed on the multiple listing service, which is the MLS, an agent has to be a member of the National Association of Realtors because that organization controls and owns the MLS. So the plaintiff's argument was that the Realtors Association held all the power and that sellers were forced to pay 5 to 6% for their homes to be seen by buyers and their agents. The jury agreed. And now the National Association of Realtors is on the hook for at least $1.8 billion. And at the judge's discretion, it could be as much as $5 billion. So some speculate this could change the way the commission structure is set up and how it's paid completely. Maybe buyers will have to pay their own agents instead of the sellers being responsible. That would be horrific. It would be one more nail in the coffin for young buyers and first-time home buyers in general. Most people, if you've ever purchased a home or if you know someone who's trying to purchase a home, most people have to save for years and years just to put together enough money for the down payment and for the closing costs. So if buyers then have to also come up with thousands of dollars or, on top of that, to pay a real estate agent, that will be the death knell for first-time buyers. And here's the thing. All of the agents I know have discretion to adjust their commission. The listing agent doesn't do as much work as a buyer's agent. Sorry, they just don't. So, they're often willing to give the seller a break. Because think about it, the buyer's agent is running buyers all over the place. They may be running to, different counties, different cities, taking up weeks and weeks and months to find the right home and writing up offer after offer. So anyway, many listing agents are willing to drop their commission down to 2% or even less on the price of the home. So, it's just simply not true that 5 to 6% was a fixed rate. I know many people, many agents who, if they're a listing agent, if they're the seller's agent, they will say, look, I'm not doing as much work as a buyer's agent, so I'm willing to do it for 1%, 2%, depending on the price of the home. A buyer's agent, they don't set the rate. That's set by the seller. So, I don't know where they get this. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's BS that the Realtors Association controls so much, just to maintain your membership with them. So you can have access to the multiple listings and to have a digital key to get into the homes, to get into the lock boxes. It costs thousands of dollars every single year. So if you're a part-time agent or you're someone who just wants to maintain your access for your own property sales, it's not always worth it. It doesn't always make financial sense. But, with any business, there are hard costs. And even in hosting this YouTube channel, I have hard costs. Like I have news outlet subscriptions and access to some court records and images for YouTube thumbnails and stuff like that, just to name a few off the top of my head. But everyone understands maintaining a business comes at a cost. But in regard to this verdict, I believe it was wrong. I believe that the jurors don't have any understanding of how the industry works. Clearly, the defendants didn't do a good enough job of explaining all of the intricacies. And, the Orlando Sentinel interviewed a professor of finance who also didn't appear to understand how the real estate industry works. So, for example, she said, quote, "Most of the time, realtors will only show homes that pay that 6% commission." First of all, like I said, a buyer's agent has no idea how much the listing agent is making on any given home for a sale. So that information isn't disclosed in the listing. So to say, oh, they don't know if, they're not going to show a home unless they see 6%, a buyer's agent has no idea what a listing agent is making. So that's BS. And yes, some agents, I do know this for a fact. I've heard it throughout the industry over the years. Some agents won't show a property if it's offering less than a 3% commission to a buyer's agent. Many will. Many are like, I will help my client no matter what. I don't care what I'm going to make within reason, right? I mean, you don't want to work for $5. I mean, there's some inherent risk too. You can get sued in the real estate industry. So, I mean, anyway, but you can't regulate how much someone wants to be paid for their time. And if you're a buyer and you're finding homes for sale on realtor.com or another similar site, but your agent isn't showing you those homes, if your agent refuses to show them to you, then you need to just go find another realtor. It's that simple. And this professor, who has obviously never worked in the industry, also said, quote, "Buyers and sellers can now connect more easily through the internet. It's like what happened with the old industry of travel agents. Now everyone just goes to Expedia or Travelocity." Seriously? Booking a hotel room, you're going to equate that with making the largest purchase of your entire life. I find it terrifying that this person is a professor. I find it absolutely astonishing. This is someone shaping the minds of the younger generation, and they can't figure that out. I mean, if you book a vacation on Expedia and it sucks, you've lost a little bit of money, right? You've lost an experience. If you try to negotiate your own home purchase without an expert in the industry, you could lose your life savings and destroy your future. So, not exactly the same thing. Anyway, my biggest concern, as I mentioned, is how this might affect low income and or new home buyers, or, both. If they get stuck with the costs of paying their own agent, it's going to destroy the first time home buyer market. So we'll see what happens. The National Association of Realtors is appealing the verdict. I will keep an eye out on this. Bad move. This is what happens when you try to regulate industries. And I've seen this happen with guns as well. People who don't understand how easily you can convert certain guns or certain weapons to shoot to become large capacity feeding devices or weapons. And people try to regulate this stuff and they don't understand how it works, and they end up making more of a mess of things. So good intentions, just bad approach, incorrect information. But again, you have to place the onus on the National Association of Realtors for not properly explaining things and bringing evidence to bear for these jurors, obviously. Anyway, I'll let you know if I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.